Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today we're going to make these fun pair of earrings and I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want is your black Primo clay. I have mine rolled out to my second thickest setting, and then you're going to want to get a texture stamp. I chose flowers since summertime is coming. You're also going to need a oval cutter and a teardrop cutter that's pretty small. I'm going to about that size. Okay, and then I chose 2 red gems that I'm going to use, and you're also going to want some wire, and I'll show you what to do with those in a little bit. But first we're going to take our stamp, we're going to lay it out, get a roller and just press it down. And I want to do this pretty firm because I want my textures to really have an impression inside the clay. Okay, then just pick out simply which area that you would like, and I'm gonna go and I want them to match. I'm gonna go with that one as well. Smooth out your sides. Okay, so line these up the best that you can, because you're going to want to make sure that you're doing this even. So I want to make sure that I get my teardrop right in the middle. Go straight down. Okay. And then I'm going to get my tile. I'm going to set this on the tile because I don't want it going out of shape again. I'm going to smooth out the insides of the best that I can. Just kind of pushing in the top a little bit to make it a little bit more egg shape, I guess you could say. I feel like I'll take off a tiny bit there. Okay. Now I'm just going to take my black clay that I have left over. I'm going to put it around the back, or on the back, and then slightly up above the gemstone. And I want to make sure it's nice and smooth. All I'm doing is making sure that it's straight across, so it's nice and even. That one's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so now I actually want to, I'm going to move this one over just a tad bit. I want to bring these in a little bit closer because I need this to have some security on here. I'm going to get my ball tool and just round out the bottom. Press that down a tad. And then I'm just going to cut away a little bit of this to reopen it. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with this one. Bring this closer. So when we're done with that, I'm going to get my metallic rub-ons, and I'm actually going to just put a little red here. And I'm patting so I don't rub too much of it in the lines there, because sometimes when you just go like that, you get too much inside and then you cover up too much of the black. So I'm trying to avoid covering up all my black. Okay, so now with your wire, you're going to do different sizes. So I have some long, I have some that are medium, and some that are like a little smaller. So I believe these are about 1 inch. These are about maybe 1 3/4, and that's almost like 2 inches. And what I did was I have a little red clay, so you could use that, or you could use black clay, which I'm going to do, and then I'm going to use my rub-on metallic so it all matches perfectly. And you're just going to get your black clay or your red, and remember, if you're using red, it stains your hands, so make sure you're doing this at the very end. And I'm just going to put this on the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of make it into like a little teardrop. And just do that with all your pieces. They do not have to be exactly the same. Just get them somewhat close. All right, so once you have all your wires wrapped with your clay, what you're going to do is take your little sponge or your filter and kind of roll it over just to give it a little texture, roughness. Blot it. Do that to each one. I like to roll it over, makes it go faster. Okay. And then once you do that, you're going to take your metallic paint again and just kind of dab it. You don't want all of it red, just a little here, a little there, so there's some black still showing. So do that with each piece. Okay, so the last step that you're going to do before you bake your piece is make a little hole. So we're going to put a hole where the top of our earring is going to be. Okay, so now let's put this in the oven because I have Primo. It's going to be at 275, and I'm going to put it in for a ½ hour, and then when we're done, when it's done in the toaster oven, we'll come back. All right, guys, so now my pieces are out of the toaster oven. I made sure that my pieces were completely sanded and smooth, and I ended up making an extra one just to kind of show you the difference. So if you want to put UV resin on the top, this is what it would look like. I'm actually going to go with the Sculpey glaze because I want the indentations to really show. But I also UV'd and put some glitter on the back, and I think I may actually do that. I haven't decided 100% yet, but this is what the backs look like right now, and I could either do another layer of clay, put those on, or I can UV the back. And I actually like the glitter on the back, so I'm most likely going to go with that. But I wanted to show you the difference in them. So right now it's just the plain, and then this one obviously is the UV resin, and I think the glaze is going to make it pop a little bit more. So what I did next was I took my pieces of wire, and I'm going to show you quickly what I did. Was I took them and I'm just going to pop the little piece of clay off, and then I'm going to take some super glue, and not a lot. I'm just going to kind of stick it in the super glue and then replace this back on. This way you know your pieces are completely secure. And if you get a little bit of glue there, just kind of get something and wipe it off. Okay, so let that dry. These ones I did ahead of time so I can show you the next step right away. Oops. So we're actually going to bend the wire, all right? So grab your tool, and you're just going to take the top and bend it over like that. Okay, so do that with each one. Okay. Then we're actually going to take an old piece of clay that's not cured yet, and we're just going to stick these in our clay to kind of hold them in place. This is where I'm actually going to use my UV resin. And I use the Tiny Pandora Deep Shine. This cures really quick, and I love the outcome of it. So just get a paintbrush, and then you could just paint these up. Oops. This is why I put a glove on. Okay. So now put this under your UV light. And while that is curing, we're going to go to the next step, which is going to be to UV light the back of these with glitter. I chose the red, but you could kind of see it doesn't even really show too much red. I was a little disappointed with that. I actually got these off of Amazon thinking that more red would show, but I still like the back of it, and I think it kind of looks pretty nice. So I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to get my resin again. And I'm just going to put a thin layer on. You don't need nothing really thick because we're just doing the back. Kind of work around the hole so you don't have to re-drill it if you can avoid that. And just get yourself a little stick or something to hold it down so you don't have to get it on your hands. Okay, now you're going to get your glitter and just stick your brush in there and then just kind of paint over it. And you don't need a ton of glitter. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to take these and I'll put these under the UV light, and when they are cured, we'll finish the rest. All right, guys, so now these are cured and we can move on to the next step. So we could pull these out. And then we're going to get our liquid Sculpey glaze. With a paintbrush and just put a tiny bit on. Make sure you get the inside. This dries pretty quick, so it's only going to take a couple minutes. All right, so now that they're dry, we're going to get our paint marker pen, and I chose silver, and we're just going to color the sides quickly. It's going to give it a nice finished touch. Okay, let that dry. All right, so now that everything is 100% dried, our next step is going to be to assemble it all. So I chose these little flower toppers because I thought they'd look nice with summer coming. So grab your rings, make sure they're open plenty. Just slip it on, and then we're going to reclose them. Okay. Once again, open your ring, plenty of, make sure you have plenty of room. Slip it in. Put the top on. Make sure it's facing the correct direction. and close it. All right, now we're gonna get all these little pieces, and I like to start out with the big one, and you just kind of put it on the bottom, and then we're going to close them like that. And just kind of bundle them up. I'm gonna put the tiny one over here. How fun is that, guys? Let's finish up the last one here. And there we go. We have our earrings. I think these are so fun. And if you do them yellow or green, you can have a lot of fun with these guys, using multiple colors, and really make them summer by doing yellow or gold or maybe even all silver. But I think the sides here bring out the silver on that, and then the silver on the wire, and it just kind of gives it a little extra. And then on the back, like I said, we have the pretty glitter, so if anybody sees it from the back, you have a little extra pop there. And if you like this video, please subscribe and like and follow along for more upcoming videos. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.